For most people, it's not hard to lose the weight. It's about keeping the weight off. And today we talk about going beyond the weight loss and how to sustain that goodness that you created for yourself. Hi, I'm Brooke Lyons. A few years ago, I lost 50 pounds and finally got my life back. I've uncovered the tools that allowed me to keep the weight off and help hundreds of my clients also lead a healthy and vibrant life. Losing weight is only the beginning, and being happy and healthy is so much more than just a number on the scale. So join me as we discover how to thrive beyond weight loss. Welcome to Thrive Beyond Weight Loss. I'm Dr. Brooke Lyons, and this is Bri.
Hello.
Hello. So here we are again.
Yes, I'm excited to be back.
Oh gosh, new mics. It's a thing. Well, so we try to keep it real here, because if we don't, then it's really like it's a big hole we dig, and we fill it with failure, right? So because those holes we build, I mean, a lot of times we talk about that in my office is that we have these emotional holes. And what do we fill them with? Not broccoli, right?
No, a lot of failure. I feel like we're very hard on ourselves.
Yeah. And we fill it with sugary foods or comfort foods. And that's never really something that's necessarily healthy unless you've been trained that way. Like, I think there are families who just don't eat that way, so that's not an option to them. But maybe your family's like that, maybe your family isn't.
Right, emotionally eating. I think we see a big change in our patients with that as they come to us.
Absolutely. You know, this morning somebody came in and before recording here, we saw a bunch of patients, and then we were like running all day. So it's a good way to live, because it's so amazing that we get to be here with you in this way. But this patient was just sitting so calmly. And she has a bunch of kids, and she had a tough time getting into the habit of it. And the food that she usually ate was always wrapped in bread, like, right, tortillas and stuff. And so when she kind of made a transition, like, I can maybe put the stuff on lettuce, or I can have it once in a while. I don't have to have 3 of them at every meal. Right. She's like, the whole world opened up to her. Because she's like, I don't have to sacrifice anything. It's this flavor that I like. And now she sits there and she's calm as a cucumber. And I'm not saying she was like all jumpity, but that happens to us sometimes. I remember one of my other assistants, some people come in and she was like, are you sure you want to work with this person? Because they were so grumpy. Oh, and it happens though all the time. Like, we've had that happen. And so when we learn that we can do this, it's not a sacrifice.
Right.
The only thing you sacrifice is like the bad feelings you have. And that can actually be kind of a big deal.
Yes. And I've noticed that over the months of having patients with us, like when they initially come in and we take their before pictures, like they just are glowing by the end. And it's not necessarily just because of the weight that they lost, but just their outlook on life and how they feel about themselves has changed dramatically. And that's what brings us so much happiness, I feel like.
Well, because it's not, I mean, everybody loses weight on the program. If you follow it, that's happening. But we have this sheet that you fill out every time you come in. We call it the wins sheet. In fact, we've got some in our phones that we're going to kind of read some of them to you today. But these win sheets are just like people, this is what I'm saying, like I was starting to say before, is like we get so used to being in the habit of being unhappy. And it's super hard to get out of that habit, because that's just how we live. Like, we keep on doing, this is something I teach. I call it the circle of belief. and actually all these things are about to come to life, because now we've got the Beyond membership coming out, because going beyond your weight loss is just so important, because we've all yo-yoed. We've all lost track. We've all felt alone in this. Like, nobody else is doing what I'm doing. They all are. Maybe they're just doing it in a different way, but we're always doing some, as women anyways. I can't speak for the men, but I see a lot of you, so I think it's true for you too. But if we could just find a lifestyle that works, where we can include those happy days and the things that we love, then we start to change our habits. And that circle of belief is just really, like, I think we probably talked about it in the past. So, but that's because it's that important. If you have a belief about something, then you believe it, right? And so then you do things that create that outcome.
Right.
And
Our brain is very powerful at convincing us.
Yes, an easy button. Like, it tries to make it so you don't have to think about so many things. Like, we do tapping, emotional freedom technique in the office. And so I always say to people, like, I was driving down the street. Actually, it's not true. I was coming off the highway too fast in a snowstorm in my minivan, not the greatest tires. Guess how that worked out for me?
Pretty scary event, I'm sure.
I'm just lucky to be here. And so I kind of got off the street onto the road, and I was like, whew, that was close, you know? And then a couple of days, maybe a week later, I'm driving perfectly normally, safely, no snowstorm, around not the same corner, a different one, and my whole body starts to have a panic attack. And I'm like, what? That's what you choose? The corner? Like, that's not the problem. Too fast in a snowstorm with not the greatest tires. That's on a corner. That's the problem. So we don't always get to choose what our mind decides to anchor as the truth. And the truth, unfortunately, as we're little kids, so many of us are so busy. It's really easy to teach our kids that they're not good enough. We're not meaning to do it. It's just that we've got 2 minutes to get out the door, so we don't let them explore and do things anymore. We're like, do it this way, blah, blah, blah. And then we're frustrated because they didn't do it that way. And then they're like, oh, I suck.
And that lives with them for a very long time.
It's so heartbreaking, isn't it? Like this journey, we were talking about this earlier. Life is not easy. We know this. And that's just why we come on here and kind of put our heart in front of you because we know that we are doing this too. And
that's what I love about the program that we offer is it goes so much more beyond just the, basic losing weight. It's really diving deep into that emotional trauma that people have had and like why we cope with food and why we cope with certain things. And really people become so aware of who they are and why they are that way. And it really helps them with that journey.
Thanks for saying that, because that's like for 3 years, I'm not a psychologist. Like I have no credentials in that, but I am another human being and going through the same things. So I have been a coach for, as long as I've been practicing, because I used to be a pediatric chiropractor. I used to work almost exclusively with babies, so they don't really talk. But they scream and they tell you some stuff, but you're not like, but where's it hurting? They don't point, right? So you have to really get good at asking questions to the parents who are bringing them in. So I'm really glad that kind of was developed because I think you're right. Like if we just treat this as another diet, then you will go back to the old habits, not realizing that there was a whole life that was like potentially there for you. But if you're not offered that opportunity, you don't take it because you don't know it was there.
Right. And we see that with patients that have tried other programs in the past. And it's like they do it and then they're just left alone. And then they don't know what to do from there because they're not taught how to continue with this process and a lifestyle change.
Yeah. And I think
it's a big difference.
It does. And I think it's a business strategy. Like I can't speak to a different business, but our business strategy is like since 2021, 2022, no, 2020, I do know the date, March 2022, I have kept 50 pounds off.
That's incredible.
And it is, right? And so, but that's good because then I can tell you that this is sustainable because my husband and I travel around the world. He's a public speaker. And around the world, like even different little places in the world, like even if we went to Japan and most of Japan is the same, but little places have different traditions. And I always know like food is always so heartfelt for people.
Yeah.
If they offer me their breaded pastry I am not going to be like, sorry, but I don't do that. You're like, I'm not, because I don't want to be insulting to them. I want to, just let them know that we are so grateful to be there. And so I eat it. But you know what the truth is, around the world, they don't have the food sources that we do. It's very different here. It is what it is at the moment. Let's fight for change in that, because even our organic food is sprayed with the likes of Roundup to dry it for transport. So we go through some stuff here with our food, but that doesn't mean that we can't work our best way around it.
Right. And I think it's just teaching them to be aware of, like, you're not a failure if you do have a drink or if you do have that cupcake, but like being aware of that and how to get back on to your normal day-to-day eating habits and to build yourself up and not, cause negativity. I think
that's the hardest part. That's that hole again. Like, it's I don't want to say sad, because everybody's journey is worthy. Like, no matter how much pain and how much hardship we go through, it is just, there's something out there. Like, I have to believe there's always a reason. Like, it has to turn into something potentially good, or else what's the point, right? But just think about the holes that you're filling right now. Because if we go to bed with a hole, I always say, like, your sleep matters. If you're not sleeping well, you're not losing weight the next morning.
No.
You're not going to feel robust. Like, I'm literally dealing with that right now. We have so many things that are going on behind the scenes to serve you better, really. But that means that I only get 24/7. And I gotta.
It's never enough.
It's just never enough. But I also want to sleep. But I also got myself back into some bad habits, like to stress, relax. I actually have a little game that I love to play. But I played it for like 2 hours, like on Mother's Day, which was nice because it was just downtime.
Right.
But then I thought, is that actually relaxation? Like, I guess what am I doing to my brain that's pulling that in? So
Right.
I'm not complete on that thought yet. It's just it was just the other day. And so anyway, just kind of look at the holes, because I always say too, like our program is developed so that we're talking about the program a lot today, but it is just a great program because it holds all the spaces, right? But the other part of it is that every night I want you to go to bed knowing that you did a good thing, because I don't even want sad faces on your paperwork, because that tells your brain, oh, she wants more sadness. Like,
Right.
I can get her more sadness. And we're like, no, why does my life suck? And
Yeah.
we put ourselves to bed with that awfulness. Like, it's why with kids, you're always told to like snuggle them and don't be yelling before bed. That just messes everything up. It's not just because of the cortisol that's in their body. That's the fight and flight hormone, right? You can't sleep when you have fight and flight hormone in you. It just doesn't work together.
No.
But so often we do that, and we do it in ways that we don't even know we're easy button. Like every night I weigh myself and I get all sad. That is awful. Don't do that.
I think just habits are
Yeah.
very hard to break. And I
Yeah.
find like I get caught up in those things too. And what I try to do is just be more mindful.
Yeah.
Like just having quiet time allows me to process things in a different way, and just shutting my mind off to
I love
really be focused on, what truly matters, and calming my brain down so we don't get caught up in those.
Do you write that down? Do you sit with it? Like, how do you
Sometimes
do
I
it?
journal, and sometimes I just close my eyes and just try to
take
be
a moment.
still and breathe, working on my breathing. Yeah.
It just sounds so good.
It really has been helpful, especially with any type of stress. I mean, everyone has stress in their life, and I feel like as a society, we
What?
turn to food really for comfort.
We do.
And that's I try to just change it up. Even if I turn to food for comfort, sometimes I try to have healthy options around that make me
That's
happy.
smart.
Like strawberries or different
Yeah.
foods that make me smile and
There
feel
you
good,
go.
but it's healthy.
Who doesn't love a strawberry? And now we're coming up on the season here. With podcasts, you always try not to make it seasonal, but you know what? There's just life happening around us, and I'd rather be more authentic about what's going on around us, because every year for the last 6 years, I've missed strawberry season.
Oh no.
I don't know. I
It comes
look at
up
it
so fast.
Oh my
here,
gosh!
And then it's like over.
It is. Cherries, I can see. I get that every year. Apples, that's a long season. Except for I've got to actually find out. Every year we get better. Every year I want to get the Macintosh, or not the Macintosh, the green ones.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, write in the comments what the small green apples are.
Why I can't think.
I'm
of
blanking on
anything.
them too. So I never seem to get. They must be first because they're sour, maybe.
Yeah.
But I love
the
those
tart.
Yes, I love those. I love them with a little cheese.
Oh yeah. I need to try that.
Oh my gosh, a little sharp cheese, yum yum yum. That's like one of my favorites growing up. But maybe one of my parents used to do it, because it's definitely a memory for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, we used to love even the orange groves, which you don't really have in Florida anymore. There used to be orange groves everywhere. And that was one of my favorite things as a kid, to go there every year and pick
Fresh
oranges.
oranges.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yum.
Yeah, our daughter Tori just drove through to Florida, and they stopped in Alabama. No,
Georgia?
Georgia.
Oh,
Thank
yeah.
you. Yeah. So she brought back peaches. Oh, good
gosh.
grief.
They
were
were phenomenal.
well,
So sweet.
Oh my gosh. Peaches are supposed to, like, when I was a kid, you'd have a peach and you'd have like the pit, and then you'd have to like pick out the little long strands out of it. And then now they don't have that. Have you eaten them like that?
No.
Yeah. So that's how there's, so she's 23 right now.
Okay.
And so the day that I went into labor, we went to see the midwife, and then I literally went into labor on the way home.
Oh wow.
And there was this pop-up like little place where you can get all kinds of fruits and vegetables stand, I guess. It's an actual establishment. But anyways, they had Georgia peaches. And I remember biting into that thing. It's like all over me in the car. But I was like going through contractions already. And then they started just come. And they were, I mean, this thing was, and I think probably when we're in labor, everything is so peaked anyway.
Yeah.
That thing tasted, it was like peach times 1,000.
Do you remember that time every time you eat a peach?
Absolutely. And that's why it makes me cry because she brought that peach and I was like, this is what I remember. And this is the day that you were born. I was eating that peach.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
I love that.
And the ones she brought even had that white, they used to have peach fuzz. That's why peach fuzz is called peach fuzz, which is actually telling us a hormonal issue, by the way. Ask me questions if you have more. But yeah, they used to have them. I'm not going to say they're supposed to, but they used to have that.
Yeah, and they don't anymore.
If you look at a peach, you hardly ever see that. And that's probably part of what's been genetically moved out of them and why they don't taste so good anymore. But
were the ones from Georgia good though?
Oh yeah, they had peach fuzz and everything. It was a real peach. She brought was it pecans or walnuts, something like pecans.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, she called them pecans. I don't know why, but that's what we're calling them today. But yeah, so it's so funny when you go to different places, see what they have, like see what they grow.
Yeah.
Because even just here in the States, like every state could be its own country. Because they have such diverse land and growing conditions and stuff.
Yeah, and being here in Wisconsin, we don't have much fresh fruit. I guess not really until the summer. But,
nope. Yeah. We have, this year was my first year in like 6 years again. I don't remember what happened 6 years ago, but I did a lot of good things that year. But 6 years ago, I got the fiddleheads. You know, like before a fern bursts out, they make these little round things. And they're really delicious fried up.
Oh, really?
And I just happened to be pulling stuff out of the garden a couple weeks ago or a couple days ago. And I was like, oh, they're ready.
Oh, did you make them?
Yes, I did. They were so good.
I've never had that.
Yeah.
I've never had that.
So my son is a chef, red hot chef. We're going to introduce him pretty soon
He's
here.
going to have to come on here.
He will. Yeah, he'll hate that, but we'll see if he will. I live in the land of introverts, which we are also.
Tori is not, though.
Tori's not. Neither is my husband. But I tend to surround myself with that because this is people who get that it's not that we're not nice and we don't communicate and we're not like happy. It's just that we recharge alone. And if you're like, my husband would be with people 24/7 and happy. And I'm like, I gotta go.
Envious of people like that.
Gosh,
just
different.
one quality I wish I
Is it?
had.
Yeah.
I really work hard on it, but it's not something that comes naturally to me because I am more introverted. But the older I get, it's becoming easier. Yeah.
I guess I guess that it is. Everybody has something they work on. I think that you're right. I think I probably work on that too because like when we have our Tuesdays and it's like 12 hours of patience, we do this so that we can have Fridays off, honestly, so that we can enjoy our weekends. And it's a purposeful action that we do to make what the life that we want to create. But I tell ya, people eat all day long. Like Dan had asked me a question last Tuesday and he said, and I was like, I can't, babe. And he goes, it's just it was Nickelback. I love Nickelback. Yeah. And he was like, do you want to go to this concert that's coming up? And I was like, I can't even.
I can't process this right now.
I'm like,
Ask me in the morning.
I almost had like a little seizure going, I know that what you're saying is something I really want, but I can't right now. I just got to stay in the people mode.
Yeah.
So it took me till like Sunday to go, hey, I guess we were listening to their music. And I go, hey, did you ask me a question about Nickelback last week? It goes, yeah, but you didn't seem too interested. And I'm like, 25 years, dude.
I'm interested. I just
you gotta know.
Can't process at the moment.
I'm like keeping myself in the zone. It's important to protect those things that mean a lot. And I want to be with you when you're in front of me.
Yes.
I don't want to be like, oh, Nickelback tickets. I want to
focus.
I do want to focus. I want to focus. So that brings us to something that we're going to talk about soon is the Beyond program that we are creating.
So excited about
I know.
That. Yeah.
We've actually set up some actual days where we are just going to do that all day long. And what this is, I'll just give you a quick sneak peek. We realized long ago when I first started offering this program is that we talk about this a lot, our idea of a good business is something that leads people down a road that keeps them successful. And every time I go into the office, I'm talking about my program and why it works. And if I gained my 50 pounds back and said to you, program works, just not for me, like that, oh, sure it does. So So we have created something called the Beyond program, and one of our clients named it. Barb named it, and she said, "You just need to you need something that goes beyond what we do here." And I was like, "I know, I don't have that much bandwidth." But now that we have found some more space, create space for happiness.
Yeah.
We have a program that's coming out called that soon, because when we have so many holes, it is a belief that we have. We'll circle back to that, what we said in the beginning of the program. If our belief is that we don't have time for things, sometimes that's legit. But that means that our belief is that that's the way it has to be on some level anyways.
True.
And so if we want something else to make space into our life, we better actually make the space. And that means that you're going to have this belief like, oh, but instead of saying I can't do it, maybe like, how can I do it? Asking a better question always leads to a better answer.
Perspective.
Yes. And so then it's like, then the action you do from that belief is like, maybe I could do this. Well, then you got to make space, because we know that even though you want something, that doesn't make it always happen. I wish we could just decide. But then as you start to change your belief about what's possible, that changes your actions about what you do about getting to that thing. First, you got to know you want a thing, right? And then that changes your outcome, and you're like, wait a minute, maybe I could be successful about that anyway. We see that every day at the office. People, I always love saying, were you skeptical? And they're like, oh, yeah.
Always.
We've done lots of programs and spent lots of money, but my idea of a thriving business is that you lose your weight like I did. You keep that weight off because now you're just living a lifestyle you love. You still eat cake. I still say yes when I'm traveling or wherever. But I know now what to do for the physiology that doesn't care if I'm happy or healthy.
Right.
It just wants me to be alive. Well, alive is not thriving. And it's not going beyond the weight loss. So that's why we have Thrive Beyond Weight Loss is the name of our podcast. We already knew Beyond was coming when we even named this thing like a year ago, 2 years ago. But now it's time to have a structured time together where I can teach you all these. My hardest thing every day at the office is that I don't have time to get deeper.
Yeah.
And I crave deeper. It's like everybody's got their geek thing. I love research about like how all this stuff works in the body, but I also love to be like, why are we doing that?
Yeah, I think we relate on that. Like, we just want to give them absolutely everything. And I think this is going to be very helpful.
I can't wait. So thank you for joining us today. We just love talking to each other at the office. We are so go.
Yeah, we don't really get a whole lot of time to do this.
So this is kind of like our girlfriend chat about the things that we're seeing in the office. I hope that serves you, because you're on a journey too, and we'd love to be with you along that journey. So join us again for next time on Thrive Beyond Weight Loss.
The views, thoughts, and opinions expressed on the Thrive Beyond Weight Loss podcast belong solely to the host and guest speakers and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of any associated organizations or health professionals. The content provided is for informational purposes only and is not intended as medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always consult a qualified healthcare provider with any questions regarding a medical condition or health objectives.